Art for art's sake is today's message. Your artistic journey includes appreciating the process as much as the finished result. We begin with this really cool journal cover, and you can see it looks hyperdimensional, and all of it was done with paper clay. So, first thing I want to point out is all of the stamping, both on the back and on the front. So, the way that we do that is I'm actually using these big mats, which are meant for fondant, believe it or not, but they're really easy to use. So all I do now is I'm gonna just take some paint, throw it on the mat, very, very technical here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use my brayer to get it out. And you can see this is really thick and sticky. You could use a thinner paint, whatever you want. You just want to spread it out. Now I am going in both directions, meaning I'm going side to side along with up and down, okay? So once you have done that, you can take your cover and then you're simply going to push it down, just like this is a giant stamp. Put some pressure onto it, put you back into it, as they say. And you're gonna just wanna make sure that you've covered the whole thing, because this is kind of bouncy, but it's not super soft. And then you're gonna carefully pull it up, and you'll see you have this beautiful image that you've stamped onto here. Now this is kind of a distressed image, which is great, but if you want something that's slightly cleaner, what I found is that if you use a really delicate mat, so this was sort of a chunky pattern, and this one has some nice line work on it. And then instead of putting the paint directly onto the mat, I put it instead onto a piece of palette paper and then brayer it out like so, just so that I'm applying the paint to my brayer, and then rub it across here. And again, I'm just gonna repeat that process, making sure that I cover enough of an area that I've really done that. And I'm gonna follow the same process, push down the board, and what I'll have is this beautiful and clean printed image that you see right here. Super cool. So let's talk about the front of the cover, and let's get all of that dimension. So I'm gonna use paper clay. And paper clay, you wanna leave the package closed until you're actually gonna use it, because it dries just in the air. So once I'm ready to use it, I'm gonna pull a hunk off. And then I'm using these molds, which are really meant for fondant or gum paste or chocolate or, you know, marzipan candy, anything like that. But they're perfect for paper clay. Or you could use polymer or really any kind of clay. So I'm just gonna kind of roll it out using this glass mat into a snake. But this is not, you know, you can also like pinch it into a snake. This is, again, enjoying art for the process. It really does actually feel good. And then you're going to put it into the mold. And I'm just gonna clean off my brayer with a baby wipe, because it is gonna help me. And once I've done that, I'm just gonna push it down, oops, into the mold. It's still a little wet. Get it in there. You could use all kinds of rollers, whatever you want, but you're just gonna push it, push it, push it. And then this is the magical part. I'm just gonna pull it out of the mold. How cool is that? The braid is gorgeous. Trim it down, let it dry overnight. It looks like this. Then I'll sand it to make it smooth, paint it with some gold paint, add some black distressing, and then all I need to do, and you can see how like the mold, right, this one looks. It's kind of amazing. And then if you look at the finished piece, you just glue it all together and you have got an ancient journal that's rescued from the ruins, all with just a little bit of paint and some paper clay.